It's more challenging if your legs are together. If you feel that's getting too much into your hamstring and in your hips, you can separate your feet or even bend them, right? So that's to modify. But we'll start out here and we'll just start breathing in and out through your nose, placing your hands by your side, by your hips, and kind of pushing into the mat, but not bringing your shoulders up towards your ears. Like create a little opposition. So imagine that the floor is pushing up as you're pushing down. And as you're doing that, rolling your shoulder blades back and down, drawing your elbows back behind you, and imagine as if they're starting to draw in behind your back towards each other. So you start to open your chest, just very gently opening through the front of your chest. So again, inhaling deeply, and then on your exhale, draw your shoulder blades back and down. Sorry, I got a blender going in the background. Jimmy's cooking, guys. Come on over for some virtual dinner after. And then take your hands, alternating, and kind of pull the meaty part of your seat out and just really see if you can get down onto your sits bones, as if you could actually spread your sits bones wide, your pelvic floor. And then just drawing your chin to your chest as you're drawing your shoulders back and down, really grounding through your hips. And now activating your legs, like activating your thighs, activating your calves, flexing your feet, spreading all 10 toes wide, and breathing in and out through your nose. Stay here for a couple of more breaths. If you want it more challenging, walk your hands further back and maybe start walking them towards each other behind your back. Really opening through the front of your chest, but you're still tucking your chin. So you're creating a long spine, but at the same time, you're lifting through your sternum. So separating each rib a little bit more. Good, and then just gently come forward. Just a gentle forward fold. Again, you can reach back and, kind of move your sits bones left to right, spreading your cheeks and just folding forward. If this is challenging, you can even take a bolster. It's kind of like a yin yoga, and lay it on your thighs, and you can just lay over that bolster, soft belly, and just kind of relax into it. Feeling it, wherever you're going to feel it. Maybe the back of your hamstrings, maybe into your glutes. And just staying here, long, deep breaths. The gaze is off the tip of your nose, or you can close your eyes and just go within. And then with each inhale and exhale, see if you can ground your tailbone more, pulling your tailbone, almost like through with your low abdominals, and then lengthening through the back body. And then if you want to take it deeper, you remove the bolster, just reach more forward to the point where you can, drop your head, your forehead down towards your chin or towards your knees. Good, breathing into it, breathe wherever you feel it. If it gets, too challenging, remember micro bending your knees or bending your knees more and lengthening out of the hips. So everybody come up a little bit, straightening your back and lengthening. Imagine someone's pulling you up through by your sternum. So it's like diagonal up towards the ceiling. And then see if you can come down, but only come down as far as you can come down without rounding your back. So maybe, you can come all the way down, maybe not. So just find your edge, and then as you're coming forward, draw your shoulders back and down, widening through your collarbones. So find those deep inner layers of your muscles. So working the muscles that are kind of underneath all the major muscles. Then inhale, lengthen one more time, and then exhale, see if you can come a little bit more forward. You should feel this in your hamstring attachment way up high. If you don't feel it, then press your feet forward so your whole back body from your heels all the way up through The back of your leg through your low, middle, and upper back should be extended. Good. And then inhale, come up. And then exhale, lying down, flat on the back. I'm going to turn myself sideways so you guys can see. Laying down flat on the back. Legs are together, arms are by your side. And then just inhale your right leg up, bending your knee, and just hug your knee into your chest as you're reaching through your left leg. So hugging that right knee and reaching through the left leg. Breathing into it. And then exhale, straightening the right leg. And then inhale the left leg in, wrapping your hands around your knees. Pulling that knee towards your chest or maybe towards your armpit, and then reaching through the right leg, pointing the toes of your right foot, lengthening through the right thigh and the right hip area. And then exhale, placing both feet on the ground flat, having your knees bend, and then figure four your right leg. So bending your right knee, bringing your foot, ankle area onto your left knee, and then just gently pushing with your right hand, your right knee away from your shoulder, opening the front of that hip very passively. As you're doing that, see if you can ground your low back. So now start activating your low abdominals, pulling them down, pushing your low back into the ground. Breathing into it. Still drawing the shoulder blades back and down. And then on your next inhale, lift that left foot off the ground, reaching around the leg with your arms, and see if you can get deeper into that right hip. Start guiding that left knee towards your chest and just let it open into your right hip, breathing into it, in and out through your nose. If you want it more challenging, just imagine pushing that right knee away from your shoulder. Find that muscle that's pushing that right knee away from your shoulder and see if you can get more also into the back of the hip, into your glute area. Good. And then exhale, both legs, undo them, hug it in, wrap your arms around your knees, hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. And then second side, so placing your right foot on the floor, on the mat, and then left leg, figure four, and first just passively opening that left hip. Put your left hand onto your left inner low thigh and just guiding that hip open. Breathing into it, just very passive. You know, notice any differences on either side. This side's a lot more open for me. And then in your next inhale, lift the right foot, reach your arms around that right shin, and then just pull it in. Pull that right knee in as you're keeping your left leg in a figure four position. Feel that left hip opening. Breathe into it. And then again, find that muscle that just guides that left knee further away from your left shoulder, just like micro movement. See if you can get that left knee a little further away even yet, breathing into it. Good, and then exhale, hug it in, hug your knees in. And just breathe into the back of your hips. So then bring your arms out to a T and then let your knees fall over to the right side. And once they're over to the right side, cattail, take your left top knee and see if you can let it fall down towards the floor and start bending that bottom leg, your right knee more. And then take your left arm and see if you can maybe bind that right foot. And if that's not possible, just start bringing that left knee back and open as much as possible by bringing your left foot closer to your hip. And then just breathe into it. Now take your right hand on top of your right knee and see if you can pass it. Give a little guidance to that right knee coming closer towards the floor all the way down. So spinal twist. And then maybe looking over your left shoulder. Always come back to your breath in and out through your nose. Good. And then release, inhale, you'll let knees through center. And then let your knees fall over to the left side. So same thing on the left side now. Take the bottom knee, the left knee, and slide it a little bit further back and see if you can bind that left foot with your right hand. This is also where you can use a towel or a strap, wrapping it around your foot. And then the left hand goes on top of your right knee, and see if you can guide that right knee all the way to the mat. Breathing into your low back and then gazing, if it feels good on your neck, over your right shoulder. Opening through the waist, opening through your side body, and always coming back to your breath. Good. One more full inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, come back to center, hug it in, separating your knees, feet are up in the air. You can either grab in the back of your knees for happy baby or reaching your arms through your legs, grabbing the outer edges of your feet, and then just pulling your feet straight down towards your hips, rocking side to side for happy baby. Breathe into it. You can make small circles to the left, and then switch small circles to the right, massaging your low back. Very good. And then release, grabbing in the back of your knees, and then just gently rolling yourself up to seated, balancing on your sits bones, so grabbing onto the back of the knees, and just strong and tall through the spine, drawing your shoulder blades back and down. And now get into your low abdominals, pulling your belly button in and straightening your right leg, active right leg, and bend it. Work on your balance, straightening the left leg, active, and bend it. And then see if you can straighten both legs while you're holding on to the back of the knee. So you're kind of pulling yourself, just like we were doing seated, into a forward fold. Good. And then bending your knees and letting your feet come to the mat. So when you're in the front of the mat, legs are out in front how we started, bending your right knee, figure four, and bringing your right ankle under your left knee. So take your right hand onto your right knee, be very gentle here, and just gently resist down onto your right knee. You can resist up with your knee, breathing in and out, and then exhale, see if that knee will go down a little bit deeper. Do that one more time, resisting up with your right knee, and then exhale, see if you can open it more. Good. And without using your hands, bring your knees into your chest, placing your left foot under your left knee, switching sides. So same thing here, left hand under your left knee, just guiding that hip open. Then resisting upward into your hand with your knee. See if you can lift that knee off the mat without really lifting it off the mat. So resist down as the knee comes up. And then exhale, release. One more time. Lift that knee up, resisting, only let it come up, a millimeter, and then exhale, let it go back down. Good. So your left knee is bent, then taking your right knee, also bending it. So left knee bent, right knee bent, and your right foot is right in front of your left knee. So it's not important that your knees go down. If this is too challenging, you know, use your pillow and sit up on a bolster. So just find your sits bones again, reaching under, moving some of that muscle, we'll call it, out of the way, spreading your sits bones wide, and then inhaling your arms up, and then exhale, forward folding. But you're just rounding. Imagine you're rounding over a ball. Then pressing your index finger and your thumb into the mat, into the floor. And as you're doing that, reaching, 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 drawing your shoulder blades back and down. So very much riding your breath here. So you're creating opposition. So very passive. Reach more through your fingers, pressing down into your index finger and your thumb, and then see if you can externally rotate your arms as if you're taking that inner part of your elbow and shining it up towards the ceiling, and that will draw your shoulder blades back and down. So inhale again, looking up, lengthening this time more. And as you're lengthening, see if you can ground your sits bones more. And if it's available to you, exhale, fold forward over your legs. Just very passive here. It's more like a yin yoga. Just let gravity kind of do the work. If this is too challenging, you know, just find your limit. You can stay more upright. So you want to feel it in your hips, and you also want to feel lengthening in your low back. Good. One more long inhale and exhale here. And then start walking your hands over to your left side. So keeping your hips grounded, especially focusing on keeping your right hip down, and start walking your hands over to the left side. And just breathe into it, lengthening through the right waist, pushing that right hip down. And if that's easy, then you can drop your left forearm to the ground and bring your right arm up and over. And then straightening that right arm and gazing up towards your right hand. So long stretch on your right side body. Very good. And then bring that right hand back down, walking back to the front, and then walking all the way over to the opposite side. So walking over to your right side, reaching, reaching, reaching with your fingers and your arms. And now consciously pull that left hip down. See if you can get that left knee down more towards the floor. Feel that, and then dropping your right forearm onto the floor, the mat, lifting your left arm up, and then side stretch on this side. That feels good. Maybe gazing at the top hand, grounding that left hip. Breathing into it. Very good. And then coming back down, back to center. Inhale, come up, placing your hands behind you, fingertips facing forward, and then just opening the chest. See if you can straighten your arms, your hands are 10, 12 inches behind you, fingertips are facing forward, and then dropping your head back, mini back bend here, opening through the chest as you're grounding through your hip. With your hands behind you, see if you can switch your feet. So lift your feet up, placing the right foot down, bend knee, then the left foot over the top, so second side. So same thing, second side, right foot on the bottom, left foot on the top. Again, spread your sits bones wide. Second side, inhale, looking up, reaching, 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 exhale, forward fold. You can get a lot of work out of this if you really focus on engaging your abdominals, if you really focus on getting maximum length through your arms. It's all about opposition. So you want to think of activating your muscle while it's extended. So, on most physical activity, we shorten our muscle to use it. Think of lengthening the muscle and then breathing into it. Make the muscle work as it's extended. Grounding through your sits bones, reaching more through your index finger and thumb, and then pulling your shoulders back and down. Good. And then this time walking over to your right side with both hands, keeping your left hip grounded. Feel that left hip going down. Stretching through the side body, come back to your breath. And then lowering the right forearm to the mat, lifting the left hand, same thing again, side body stretch. See if you can straighten that top arm as you're drawing the left shoulder blade back and down your back. And then gazing up, that feels good on your neck towards your left hand. Breathing in and out through your nose. Exhale the hand down, walking to the front. Always be aware of what your hips are doing. Keep working on getting them more grounded and then walking over to the left side. Side body stretch here. Very good detoxing, very good for your immune system. Imagine someone's taking your waist, your lower abdominals, and wringing them out like a towel. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. See if you can become more aware of those teeny little muscles around your hips. And then drop your left forearm to the mat. Right arm reaches up. Straightening that right arm. Side body stretch. And then looking at your right hand. Breathing in and out through your nose. Very good. Coming back to center. Maybe one more time. Forward fold. Maybe this time get a little bit rounder, really into your hips, and then inhale, come up. And we're gonna open up to the side, so keep that front leg 90-degree, back leg 90-degree bend, so it's like you're creating two L's. And then see if you can square your hips off to the front of the mat. So draw your right hip forward as you're pulling that left hip back. Good. And just breathe into that left hip. If this feels good, maybe come down with your forearms on top of your left foot, guiding that left knee closer to the mat. And then if that feels good, start straightening that back leg, that right leg, and push yourself up and come into pigeon, or just stay with your knees bent at 90 degrees. So high pigeon here. Maybe bring that left foot closer to your right hip, propping yourself up on your hands. And now really see if you can push that right hip forward and down as you're drawing the left hip back. Extending through your back leg, through that right leg, pressing the top of your right foot in the mat, and maybe now lifting that right knee off the mat. Just, half an inch. See if you can get that right knee off the mat. Good. If that feels good, stay here. If you want to go deeper, come down onto your forearms. If that feels good, come all the way down for sleeping pigeon. You can use a pillow. You can rest your forehead on your wrists. You can stack your fists and rest your forehead on your stacked fists. Find your edge, but you should really feel it in your left glute outer hip area. Maybe rock a little bit left side to side. Breathing into that hip. And then inhale, push yourself back up. Lifting through the front body, pressing strong into your hands. Tucking the right foot under and then lifting yourself up to your first downward facing dog. Walking your dog. Try to pedal your feet left and right, alternate bending into your knees. Breathing in and out through your nose. We'll just hold the down dog here, pressing into your hands. Your hands are shoulder width apart. And then on your next inhale, we'll just switch sides. So this time, bring your right leg forward, sitting down Right knee 90-degree bend, bending that back foot 90-degree. This side's much tighter for me. Just be aware and then see if you can square your hips off to the front of the mat. So imagine pulling that right hip back and see if you can drop that left hip forward and down and just breathe into it. You can take your left hand to your hip and see if you can create a little extra movement there, breathing into that hip. Good. Then bring that right foot a little bit further back towards your left hip. Start straightening your back leg and come into high pigeon pose. So pressing into your hands, lifting through the front body. So micro back bend here. So as you're lengthening through the front body, see if you can drop your right hip down. Just small little movements left and right in your pelvis. Good. Breathing into that left hip. Now find the top of your left foot and press into the top of that left foot and see if you can lift that knee of your back straight leg off the ground. So your thigh is active. Activate your glutes on your left side. Good. And then exhale, release, coming down on your forearms if that feels good, or stay in high pigeon. Remember, you can stack your hands, you can use a pillow. If that feels good, you can come all the way down, reaching your arms forward, really getting into those hips. Find your edge. Good. And then inhale, slowly walk your way back up if you're down, pressing firmly into your hands. Again, one little micro back bend here, opening the front body, and then tucking your left toes under, lifting your hips up again for downward facing dog. Walking your dog. I'm going to switch my mat to the side. You guys stay in downward facing dog, shifting your hips left and right, breathing into it. We'll just do a few lunge sequences here. Your gaze is towards your belly button. See if you can spread your shoulder blades wide. Good. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling for three-legged dog. Strong lift here, pointing the toe of the top foot. Exhaling, and then inhale, bring your leg forward in between your hands and come into a low lunge position. So we did a lot of lunging last Monday, and we'll get more into this today. So low lunge position. You can drop that left knee down if you want, or to get deeper into the front of your left hip, lift that left knee up, extending through the left heel. You can come up onto your fists here if your wrists are bothering you. Good. Breathe into it. Now see if you can push that right knee more forward over your big toe as you're extending back to on your left heel. Breathe into it. Good. Then dropping that left knee down, coming up, bring your hands onto your right knee and guide that right knee more forward as you're pushing your torso away from your knee, getting into a micro back bend here. Lifting through the chest, keep your chin down, your gaze is off the tip of your nose, and breathing into that front side of your left hip. Opening through the psoas, lower abdominals. Good. Then exhale, plant your hands down. And then inhale, slide that leg back to a high plank position. We're going to hold that high plank position. This is too challenging. You can come down on your knees. Otherwise, high plank position and just work the strength. Spreading your fingers wide, rolling your shoulders back and down. Everybody draw your lower abdominals in. High plank position. And now see if you can extend out through your heels more. As if you're stretching through your back body. Good. Push back in the downward facing dog. Breathing in and out through your nose. Long, steady breath. Good. Inhale your left leg up. Three-legged dog. Reaching through your left toes. Your gaze is towards your belly button or your thigh. Reaching, reaching, reaching through the arms. Imagine you're in straight arms as if you're going to do a handstand. And then inhale, step that left leg forward. Low lunge position. Remember, you can modify, bring that back knee down. You find your edge. If your wrists are bothering you, make a fist. Breathing into that right hip. Extending out through the right heel. See if you can straighten your right leg more. Guiding your left knee forward over your big toe. Exhaling your right heel back. Good. Then dropping your right knee down. Inhale, come up, placing your hands on top of each other on your left knee. Micro back bend here, lifting through your sternum. As you're sinking more into your hips, lift your chest more. And tucking your chin gently, gazes off the tip of your nose. Good. Breathing in and out through your nose. And then exhale, placing your hands down. Stepping that left leg back, high plank position. Holding that high plank position, grounding through your fingers. Feet are hip width apart. And now we're going to lower the low plank position, or you can come all the way down to the floor. And then inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale, rolling over your toes, downward facing dog. Anytime you get tired or you need a break, just come down to child's pose. Listen to your body, find your edge, come back to your breath. Okay, one more lunge sequence. Inhale your right leg up, pointing through the toes. Then exhale there, inhale, bring your right leg forward. Right away, coming up to a high lunge position. So you can bring your hands towards that front knee. Back leg is straight, back knee is off the ground, or you can modify and drop that back knee down. So more challenging, inhaling your arms up. Really get into those legs, strong legs, straighten that back leg more. Good. Everybody exhale, hands down to the front knee. Exhale, bend that left knee, touch the mat. Inhale, come up, straighten the back leg. One more time. Exhale, bend the left knees, touch the mat. Inhale, straighten the leg. Good. Exhale, your hands down, high plank position. For 3, for 2, for 1, you can go right to downward facing dog or do a vinyasa. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Creating some heat. Strong breath here. In and out through your nose. Left side. Inhale that left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhaling there. Inhale, step that left leg forward. Coming up to a high lunge position. So bringing your hands to the left knee, guiding that left knee forward over your big toe, and then sinking down into your hips. You can stay here, you can modify, dropping the back knee. Next level, inhale your arms up. So as you inhale your arms up, let's get deeper into your hips. Your legs should be feeling it, maybe burning, maybe shaking, it's all good. Exhale your hands back to the knee. And we're gonna dip that right knee down, touch the mat. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, dip the right knee down, touch the mat. Inhale, straighten the leg. Good. Exhale, hands to the mat, high plank position and low plank position. Hold your low plank or come all the way down to the floor. You find your edge. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come down, dog, come down onto your knees. Separating your knees or keep them together, whatever feels good. Find child's pose. So third eye surrender. Find that spot between your eyebrows, maybe closing your eyes. Breathing in and out through your nose. Long, steady breath. Maybe wiggling your hips side to side, nice and easy. Very good. One more long inhale and exhale. If your hands are by your side, bring your hands back to the front. Reaching with your arms, straight arms. And then inhale, come up to all fours. Good. How's everybody doing? Still with me? What time is it? Okay, we have a few more minutes. So from all fours, curl your toes under, and you're going to push back to a downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, come up on your tiptoes and start tiptoeing up to the front of the mat. Spread and then separating your feet hip width apart. We're going to get a little deeper into those hips yet. So then squatting down, bringing your hands in between your knees. Your arms are in between your knees. If this is challenging, you can keep your hands behind you and stop yourself from falling back, or roll up your mat or a bolster and slide it under your heels. Otherwise, yogic squat down in between your knees. Very good. And just kind of rock front to back. Find your balance here. Very good. Then place your hands on the mat, straightening your legs, coming into a forward fold, grabbing opposite elbow, and just letting it hang here. Dropping your head, long spine, shifting your weight a little bit side to side. Some small rotation here. Placing your hands back on the mat, heel toe your feet together, and we're going to go to chair pose, Utkatasana. We did this last week. Bending deep into your knees. You can go very deep like me, or find your chair and then come up with your torso, arms overhead, either hands together or apart, looking up, chair pose. Dropping your hips down more. Breathing in and out through your nose, and going deeper, bringing your hands in front, getting deeper into your knees. So imagine someone is pulling you forward by your hands and you're resisting backwards. Getting even deeper, and exhale your hands down. Good. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, stepping back, high plank position. Exhaling, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over your toes, downward facing dog. Very good. From down dog, coming down onto your knees. I'm going to switch my mat around. So coming back to the floor. And you can just sit with your legs together, knees are bent. If this is bothering you, slide something behind your knees, or you can have your legs straight out in front. So you have to listen to your body. Then take your hands on top of your knees, draw your belly button back, Lengthening through your back body and drawing your chin towards your chest. So opposition here, stretching through your shoulder blades, stretching through your low back. Good. And inhale, come up. One more little asana here, separating your knees. And see if you can sit down in between your feet. If that's not a possibility, just grab a bolster or a pillow or a block, slide it underneath your seat. And then just take your hands, roll your calves out of the way. So more challenging if the knees are together, less challenging if your knees are apart, right? So you find your edge and walking your hands behind you, fingertips are facing forward, and then inhale your chest again, opening the front body. Your gaze is off the tip of the nose. Walk your hands closer together, closer towards each other. Inhale again, opening your chest. And then in your next exhale, either stay where you are or start to walk yourself down, coming down onto your elbows. Stay here for a couple of breaths if that feels good. Come all the way down if that's available to you. Laying down all the way with your knees bent. Be nice to your knees, listen to your body. And if you want to take full expression, arms overhead, reaching through your arms. This is easy for you. See if you can bring your knees together. And then see if you can drop your hips and maybe even get your low back towards the mat. Inhaling and exhaling here. Good, and then slowly place your elbows under your back again, and then just come up one vertebrae at a time. I'm gonna do one more little shoulder stretch here. So bring your feet back together, your knees back together, sitting on top of your heels. Inhaling your right arm up. If you need to use a blanket or a strap here, do so. Then bending your right elbow, bringing your hand towards the back of your neck. Take your left arm up and just gently guide that right elbow back and down. Pressing the forearm into your ear and see if you can reach down your back with your right hand. If this is easy, then release the top hand, bring your left arm under, and then grasp your hands, binding behind the back. You can use a strap here, or just keep your left hand on top of your elbow. Breathing in and out. Deep breath here, maybe closing your eyes and just letting your shoulders do the work. Good, and then exhale, release, both hands down. Same thing on the left. Inhale that left side up. So do it with awareness. So if that left arm comes up, what's happening to your left hip? Make sure that left hip stays grounded. Reach more through the left arm. And as you're reaching up, see if you can keep your shoulder down. So you don't want your shoulder to come up towards your ear. You want to get your shoulder down as your arm is straightening. Then exhale, bending the elbow. And then bring your right hand towards the left elbow and just guide that arm more open. See if you can feel the lengthening all the way into your left armpit. Breathing in and out through your nose. This is easy. Release your right hand. Come behind, clasping your hands behind your back. Right arm under, left arm up and over. And then breathing into it. The gaze is off the tip of your nose. Soft neck. See if you can relax your shin muscles. See if you can relax your lower abdominals and just lengthen through your low back. One more deep inhale and exhale. And then releasing your arms down. Shifting your hips to the side, bringing your legs out in front, and we're going to finish the way we started and see if anything's changed. So reaching forward, maybe grabbing the outer edges of your feet, or just your ankles or your shins. Inhale, looking up, lengthen your back body, and then exhale, folding down. You just find your edge. Breathing in and out through your nose, maybe closing your eyes, and just kind of surrender and let your body just kind of relax as much as possible in this beautiful forward fold. Good. One long inhale and exhale. And your next inhale, come up. And then exhale, lying down on your back. Separating your feet, separating your hands away, bringing your hands away from your body, opening your palms towards the ceiling. Find a comfortable final resting position. Make sure your neck is free and comfortable, and then closing your eyes, coming back to natural breathing, and then stay in Shavasana, final resting pose for 3 to 5 minutes. And just let yourself be supported by the floor. Long, steady breath. Thank you, everybody. Namaste. Stay down, laying down. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I hope your hips appreciated this. Thank you, everybody.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Go lie down.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.